Hey guys, welcome to my channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Margie. If you're artistic and you'd like to go out and do some window painting, I have been doing window art for the past 30-something years, 25 years in Bakersfield, and another maybe 8 years prior to at the Central Coast. And so I am 66 and I am getting ready to get off the ladder. I created this tutorial so that it can help you out, especially if you guys are young. You can go out there and make some extra money for the holidays, and they pay very well. Although, you know, of course, I did mention on my little short clip that you do have to, you know, probably start your prices off low. But I would recommend that you go out and start some projects. You know, ask some commercial places where you can do their windows, and you would give them a low price because you just started doing window art. But anyhow, so I wanted to create this tutorial so it can help you guys out, and hopefully you guys can go out there. And I also provided a list of the supplies that you would be needing for the project, and we're going to have the tutorial from the beginning when I'm drawing it out all the way to the end, okay, the details and all. So let's get started. And the cool thing too, you can do holidays window painting for Christmas, for different seasons like winter, spring, summer, and fall advertisements. If you know how to do lettering, you can do even Valentine's, and then of course you can do Easter, and there's St. Patrick's too. St. Patrick's, I don't get a whole lot of customers, but 4th of July is another one. Okay, so you see me drawing up my window sketch. On the window sketch, you can actually scale it down if you want to measure before, like pre-measure. Like say you have a 6 by 6 window, 6 feet by 6 feet, you can scale it down to 6 inches by 6 inches on a piece of paper, and then roughly draw your sketch. And these are the rollers that I use. This one right here I used to use, and it was actually my favorite, but I can't find them anymore. And for the guys, that other one is a good one. And the reason why I'm saying for the guys, you know, the larger one is because for me, as being a woman, you know, it's a little harder. It's a little heavier on my arm, but it could be my age too. So you younger ones are going to have more energy and stamina. So, and anyhow, so I'm drawing out, you know, and like I said, I'm using that first roller that I showed you because I can't find the other one, and the other one is called Sureline. You can scroll back to that part and stall it for a bit, pause it, and take a look at it. Maybe you can find it online. Just don't forget, sureline.com is probably what you would be able to find it under, and I loved it. I loved it. I used it for years. In fact, about a year ago, I started having issues not being able to find it anymore. So, okay, I'm going to put it on time lapse. Okay, never mind. Okay, so here is where I use that roller, and you could use, even you women, you can use one of those weenie rollers, okay, because I've done that too, and I just don't carry them with me anymore. And I really love the 3-inch roller because I have more control of it. But you guys would be able to wipe that little square out in no time with a 9-inch roller. And when you're doing a circle, I recommend using your body, you know, putting your body up towards the center so you can have a complete circle, and just stretch out your arm as far as you can. Because I've done several circles in my window art journey, and yeah, that helps me. I just position myself to the center of the circle. And if you have to get on the steps, stool or ladder, then by all means do so. Okay, so now I'm going to put it on time lapse. Okay, and so here I am applying the color now, but before you apply your color, you have to wait for the paint to dry. So if it's a cold day, you have to wait a little longer than normal. So just, you can see it from the side, you know, if it's wet, kind of glance at it, or you can just kind of touch it, but be careful when you touch, because you'll put your fingerprints on it if it's still wet, and you're going to be bummed out. But anyhow, so there I am applying my color nice and neat. And if I can make a recommendation too, be careful that you don't roll your roller out so fast when you're out painting. If you're not careful and you splatter paint all over the window seal or the cement or something, you know, of that nature, you're not gonna have a happy client or a happy customer. But anyhow, if you want to mask it off, you know, that's another option that you can do. But I just try to be careful, because it does consist of a lot of time too. Unless I'm working indoors, then I'll tarp everything down and yeah, just make sure that everything gets masked off. And by seeing how I walked away to load up some more paint on my tray, I recommend that you put the table by you. This is kind of like to the right of my table. I put the table in the center, and you're not going to be wanting to move the table back and forth and back and forth. So I just set it out in the center. But if you have the opportunity to put it right by you, that's very efficient. So okay. And here I'm putting a second coat, and you notice I have my trays and my rollers, and then that little table that's on the ladder on the step stool is so convenient. I can put, when I'm working with 2 colors or more, I can put my trays there. And even on the step stool, you know, I can put my trays on the next step from above. And that's something to keep in mind too, because when you work with a ladder, the ladder has that small step, and oh my goodness, you get home so tired. And these little wide step stools, you know, that have the step that's real wide is such a good thing for you. But this is a lot of fun, guys. It is a lot of fun because you're doing what you enjoy, and you know, we're art lovers, so we totally love what we're doing. But yeah, because we're human, we get tired. But if you can just find everything to make it more convenient for you. And then I'll show you guys how I set up my table and stuff, and my trays, and I have a little video clipping I'll try to insert in here of my SUV that I have, and I'm able to put a tarp in the back, and I just cover it up with another tarp. I have like a plastic tarp for the liner, and then I have another tarp, and then when I'm going to use it for my personal use, I can just take everything out and it's nice and clean. And I love the saturated look. There's some artists that will just put on one coat, and it's up to you, okay? If you think that one coat is enough for you, you know, then that's the kind of work you're putting out for yourself, and that's the name that you'll be carrying. But I do have a lot of people that totally love how saturated my colors look. And then there's another paint that I used to use, and I'm trying to lean away from it because the paints are so crazy expensive now that you know, you can't up the price that much on these window paintings because they're temporary. And anyhow, so this paint that I used to use was a fluorescent paint, and it was called it was actually by Dayglow, and I used to get it at McLogan's Sign Supply in Van Nuys, and I think they had one in Chatsworth and so forth. But anyhow, So it's a fluorescent paint, and it's called Day Glow, and it is for exterior window painting. Make sure it's not oil if you do look for it and you want to use it, because everybody rats and raves about how beautiful my artwork pops, and that's because that is the secret. You know, I used to use those fluorescents, and but I'm leaning away from them because I don't want to charge the customer more than, you know, what I charge them. And if you work with the bright colors, you can make it pop just as nice. If you can see that yellow is real pretty and it stands out. And another thing, if you're just starting out and you're not used to creating fades or that gradient, when you're making that color transition from light to dark or one value tone to another, don't create it. Okay, just wait until you get enough practice and then start working on that when you're ready for your next step, because everything is kind of baby steps. But if you are a little advanced and you're ready to tackle it, I recommend that you pay attention to the sunlight. If your sun is hitting your windows, be careful, because you know you're gonna have to create that transition with wet on wet, or with a wet on wet technique. So you have to be careful, because it'll dry so fast and you won't be able to blend it, and then you'll be creating lines. And trust me, I've done it. Wanting to fade so bad, and then it's too hot because it's hitting the sun. Okay, and basically I work from left to right, and I would have done these letters here at the end after I had already done all the outline beginning from the left with the black, and then after I did the outline on here, I would have done the letters with the outline outside done. So pay attention to stuff like that, you know, so that it could be efficient for you. But at the beginning, kind of focus on your quality. You focus on getting everything done right. But have fun. Don't tense yourself up. Please don't. This is supposed to be fun. Art is always fun, and when we make it work, it doesn't work. Okay, and there I am. I'm using a brush to fill in right here, and I could use a little 3-inch roller to fill that up, but yeah, because I was gonna create the little body, I thought, well, I'll just do the brush since I'm up there on the step stool. A little easier. And I don't create an outline for the moon. Okay, I used to do that, and if you're just starting off, you're gonna have a bunch of crooked lines going around your moon, and if you can just finish it off with a nice crisp edge, then you'll be okay. I do it every once in a while, but not needed. Okay, and I'm going on time lapse. Okay, so now I'm using a flat brush, and it's one of my medium sizes. I won't even tell you what size because all the projects are going to be different, but this is probably a 3/4 inch. So don't, just you pay attention to your letters, and then you base it on the size of your letters and use that size accordingly. And it's getting closer to the end. And then I'll show you, stay tuned at the end so I can show you my table where I have my setup and stuff. And you always have visitors coming by, always getting your phone number, getting information. This lady has a shop downtown, and she took my number down, so. And you get a lot of referrals like that, so you're kind of out there making a name for yourself at the same time. So okay, going on time lapse. Okay, and the grand finale. I just love this moment. When you start applying your white outline and your highlights, it just makes your whole hard work worth it. Yeah, it's cool. It's rewarding. Actually, no, you know what? I take that back. The big reward comes when your boss, your customer, client is happy with your work. It's such a rewarding feel. And then I love this place. Doors, they take care of me, and I know they're so happy with my work. The boss comes out and she pays me. This is like a 5-day project. She has me do 5 stores, and she comes out and she pays me. The first day I go out there, my God, how many bosses do that? How appreciative I am of her. I just love it. Look at that. And then I had to put little eyes on the bat. And then you can put your little pop right there, your highlight inside your letters if you have big block letters. Yeah, and master a couple of fonts. Do maybe 2 or 3 and practice them at home if you've not taken any kind of sign courses. Okay, so we're pretty much at the conclusion of this little video clipping, and I just wanted to show you the table setup so that you can get ideas. I've got all my colors. I'm using mostly orange, yellow, and black for the Halloween projects. I have my little purple in a small sample container from Home Depot, which is bare, and then at the end I'll show you the brands. And I sort of wanted to leave this in here. Sorry about my hair being all over, but I wanted to leave it in here because, one, I'm diluting my paints, and I want to emphasize how important that is, to make sure that you have the right consistency, So right before I start my project, I make sure that all my paints are at the right consistency, because they do kind of thicken up a little because they sit in my car from one day to the next. And then, yeah, and for you ladies too, the other reason, make sure that you pin up your hair. You see my hair all over the place, and right after this I kind of move it back and I clip it. But and then here I am thinning out the orange, and I'm just basically doing the same thing. Okay, and I do it to my yellow also. And then I have lids, and you'll see another little clipping, but I'm going to fast forward on this one, or not fast forward, time lapse. Okay, ladies, make sure that you pin up your hair. My hair's all over here. But anyhow, I wanted to make sure that I included this because of your consistency on your paint right before you get ready to start your project. Make sure that all your paint is to the right consistency. And that's my reference. And then Americana and Folk Art are the 2 blacks that I use for my outline. And then my little 3-inch rollers that I posted a picture of. Okay, so here I am. I am all set up. DeWar's Ice Cream Shop, Bakersfield, California. These are my windows that I'm going to paint. I've got 2 big ones on the side, and then these 4 bigger ones on the front. And then I've got my little setup right here. This is a 2x4 table. I've got my trays with my paints in here and my rollers. So this is what you'll need if you go out and do some windows. I've got my bucket for water. I got to go inside and fill that up. And then I have this little honey plastic container where I put water so that I can thin out my paint as I go. I've got all my brushes. And of course each color has the rollers that I'll be needing for each one. And I like to paint the lids. I use a tray with a lid, and I use that for a palette sometimes, and then I cover it up so the sun won't dry my paints because it is acrylic. Then I've got my rags. You'll need rags. And then you might need to take some reference with you. I've got some ideas right there. And yeah, that's it. And I've got my step stool ready. But for this project here, I really don't use it. So let's get started. Oh, and then here's my car. I got my car. And I haul my paints in here. So I'm showing you so that you can get ideas. And I've got my bin here with the other colors that I need. And you know, more. I end up buying the paints from Home Depot or Lowe's, and they're regular latex house paint, and they come in, you know, either the quartz or the, you know, the small sample little jars, or the gallons. If you are going to take this serious, then I recommend getting gallons and then just pouring them into containers. I would recommend starting with your primaries and then make your colors as you go along from those three. So, and then I've got my little knick-knack stuff in here. I've got some spare rollers, my window scrapers, and just little stuff that sometimes I need for my job. So, okay, so we're going to get started. Those brushes that I showed you, I have one for my black outline, and then I have one for my white outline. So I'm going to use the white one, and I'm going to keep my brush in the water. I don't want my brushes to dry. And the same goes for your rollers. Okay, I recommend putting them inside the tray so they won't dry up. And that's what I use the lids for too. So, where's my yellow lid? I try to keep them organized, but sometimes they go out of whack.
Shirt. Oh, okay. This guy's shirt. I like it. Look at that. Black light responsive. That's cool. Okay, yeah. So you said you
Oh, I love the window painting.
Oh, you do?
I do. Yeah,
awesome.
Coming to doors, it's my favorite thing.
Isn't it great?
Yeah, and
that's
I
awesome.
love to see the artwork and the pop-ups and everything.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
These are the colors. The orange and the yellow are the ones that I use for my Halloween, mostly. And then these are the brushes that I make sure I take with me. And this is a website company name. And these are the paints. And this is my friend. He took a rock so I can paint Halloween on there. Okay. Happy Halloween, guys. I hope this helped.